Hey guys. Okay, let me just go in here quickly and open this up. All right, I'll be with you in 1 second. I'm just setting this up so that everyone can access. Oh, okay. Hey, Geraldine. Hey. How are you guys doing? Okay. All right. I might go and close the door as well. The weather just shifted here in New Zealand. So on a page, cat howl. Okay, perfect. And this is gonna echo, so hold on, let me pause this. Okay, sorry guys, I just need to get all organized. I will be with you in a minute. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Hey, Kylie, what's up? When am I coming back to Canada? October, I think. Hey, from Montana, nice. Toronto, yeah. I think I would do the Maritime Islands if I went back. I went there one time and it was so beautiful. It was just like insane. It was something out of like a Jaws movie. It had that feel, you know, that seaside. Yeah, I don't know. It's really nice. But for those of you that haven't been to Canada, I mean, clearly I'm biased. I'm Canadian, but it's amazing. And the West Coast is just stunning. Hey, Dennis. Yeah, New Zealand is far away. Trisha. All right, cool, guys. So, okay, if you guys are on the Facebook, I will not be able to see your comments or answer your questions. So just if you did get an access link and you want to ask me questions throughout this training today, make sure you join us on the actual webinar. This is where I will be answering your questions. So if you're joining us inside of Facebook Live, that's cool too, but just be aware that I cannot see your comments just because I'm going to be looking at the comments, the chat coming through on webinar. So welcome everyone. Woo! 130 people, all right. Yes, it's going to be recorded and you will have access to it later on. I'm also going to be sharing with you guys an SOP today. For those of you that don't know what SOP is, no, it's not an STD. What it is a standard operating procedure. This is an 8-loop social standard operating procedure for lead generation clients. And I've also added in a bonus checklist for a screening and onboarding checklist during the sales process, because we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about how to essentially onboard and pitch lead generation clients. I'm going to take you through this checklist because there's some things in there that I see a lot of people working within this niche that really trip up, and it causes them to be stuck in the freelancer loop for a really long time. And it's hard for them to get out. And then what typically happens is they start to go, well, the agency doesn't fucking work. The agency model doesn't work. It's a big scam. You're just a big slave. Here's the thing, guys. Any business, I hope you guys can agree with me. If you're on this call, I hope you can. Any business out there, okay? Any business. I dare you to name me one single business model out there that doesn't involve customers or clients. It just doesn't exist. Business is an exchange of value, right? It's an exchange of resources, and it's a value exchange, which means you will always have customers. You will always have clients. Different types of businesses have different types of clients or customers, but you'll always be dealing with clients or customers when you're in business. So this is actually why a lot of Facebook marketers and really, really clever Facebook marketers sometimes, I've seen, I was on a phone call recently with someone that is just like freaking amazing with Facebook ads. And she had built up her own little side project, e-commerce side project on the side, had scaled it up really well, been pretty successful with it, and shut it down. And you're going, why would you do that, right? Why would you do that? Well, because you're dealing with customers. So any business will have clients or customers. So don't start thinking like, oh, the agency model is not for me, blah, 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 it doesn't work. It's just that you haven't structured yourself properly to handle those clients in a way that isn't going to burn you and your team into the ground. So this is what we're going to be running through today. If someone is in ad hacks right now, because I don't think I actually did this properly, but can you let me know if I'm streaming to that group right now? And just a reminder, if you are watching me on live on Facebook right now, I cannot see your comments. So if you want to ask me questions during this training, make sure that you join us on the actual webinar link that got sent out to everyone. If you didn't get that, then you didn't register, then I'm sorry, I can't answer your questions. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this and then we'll kick it off. So I'm gonna make today like super interactive in the sense that I'm probably gonna I'm actually fucking winging this right now because I've had a manic week as usual. Siri is like trying to decipher me. So I'm actually just gonna talk to you guys about how I would normally talk to our masterminders about this industry and this type of client. And what I want to do if we have time is I might pull one or two of you guys that are live with me on this webinar right now and that are working in this space or thinking of working with this space. And we'll discuss how to address some of the bottlenecks that you are facing with this particular type of niche or vertical. And hopefully by hearing others in this scenario and the problems that they're facing, it helps to address some of the problems that you're facing inside of your agency and inside of your business, whether you're a freelancer or not. Oh, God, I don't know if I did this right. So I don't think I streamed it in ad hacks. Let me just do this one for a second. Okay, so quick show of hands. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Was I just talking to myself this whole time? Yeah, okay. Okay, sweet. Whoa, almost 300 people. Wow. So quick show of hands, guys. Who here is working? I wish I knew how to use this polling option. Okay, let me try. Let me try to do this. We're in uncharted territory right now. I'm using Zoom, which is pretty amazing with this stuff, but okay, we're not gonna do that because it's asking me the questions in Spanish. So that's not gonna work. Okay, next time I shall learn Spanish and we will figure it out. So who here is working with lead generation clients, or who here is considering? So maybe you have, so basically who has lead gen clients versus who doesn't? Who's thinking of working with them? Yeah, considering. Jade, $1,500 a month. Yeah. Well, you're going to realize pretty soon why that price point doesn't work very well. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm speaking with potential lead gen clients. All my clients are lead gen. Whoa, this is moving so fast. Trying to do 2,500 minimum, higher price point. Yeah. You generate Peter, hey, what's up? 2,000 leads per week. Woo! Hell yeah. Can we get an hallelujah for Peter in the house? Fuck yeah. 7-figure results in lead gen. Whoa! 7-figure results in lead gen. Julia, are they paying you $1,500 a month? Typical of this niche. Okay, 4K. Good. Well done. Yes. Everyone give Julia a high five. She's fucking figured it out. Okay, I generated. So Julia, why are you on this call? I'd be interested to know. I'd be interested to know what your bottleneck, if that's why you're on here, or if there's a pain point in your business with this type of client, or are you just here out of curiosity? Filtering them. Okay, cool. Yeah, we will be covering that. I'll be going through with that checklist extensively with you guys. So those of you that are working with lead gen clients, can you let me know what kind of lead gen clients you are working with? Is it realtors? Is it dentists, gyms, chiros, mortgage, RV dealers? I love that. Wow. Personal trainers, real estate, water purification system. Nico, you should work with my ex-husband. Coaches, consultants. Okay, that's not lead gen. Those kinds of funnels is like online course information-based product funnels, normally like consulting funnels. Very different to lead gen funnels. Some similarities, but way more intense than lead gen. Photographer, magazine, laminating. Oh, okay, yeah, dentists. I'd love. That's a great niche, Jamie. Okay, and what is the biggest issue that you have right now with working with your lead gen clients? Converting leads. Oh my God, this is moving so fast. Hold on. Getting leads, lead quality, getting new clients, getting enough of, okay, so it's all like a lead sales process. 18-month journey to closing. Whew. Okay, monthly retainers at the right number. Yeah, so it's like sales. Long conversion timeline. Yeah, well, I think you're meaning like how they convert the leads, right? Or how you're converting them. Like, okay, cool. Perfect. Well, you're on the right training. That's the good news. So today's training, I'm going to be taking you through some really important implications in terms of onboarding lead generation clients and then managing that relationship inside of your agency or your business if you're a freelancer. And so this applies across both. By the way, guys, don't think that you have to have like a big team to work with this niche or to apply today's training. In fact, I would say that if you are a freelancer, it's even more important that you sit on today's training because it will allow you to figure out how to get out of that freelancer stage. There's nothing wrong with being a freelancer, by the way, guys, and you should congratulate yourself and you should be damn fucking proud of what you are doing already, because the reality is what you are doing, like carving out your own way and taking a risk on yourself, is what 98% of the world's population will never do. So there's nothing wrong with being a freelancer, but in my experience, and this is my personal experience, and I have met many freelancers who absolutely loved it. In fact, Tamara, one of our most successful masterminders, is crushing it, and she makes probably a bigger salary than some of the agency owners we've worked with that have teams of 10 to 20 people, because she's just a freelancer and she loves it. So in my personal experience though, I didn't like the fact that I couldn't have a weekend or I couldn't take a holiday. And even when I tried to set boundaries with clients, the reality is that when you're running Facebook ad campaigns, especially when there's changes like Gdpr or updates or new algorithm features that are being rolled out, it gets a little bit harder to step away for a couple days, especially when the client is asking you for stuff. And especially when you're working with more than 3 clients, it gets pretty full on, right? So the point is that you don't need to have a big agency team And you don't have to feel ashamed of being a freelancer. But for each one of you guys, it'll, like the business, the structure that you have with your agency will be very different. And for some of you, it may be that you have outsourced contractors to tap into every time you do need to take a breath and relieve yourself. Or it could be that you are aiming to build out a full team so that you can actually step away from the business and start to focus on building other businesses or other income streams for yourself. The way that I always look at the agency model, it's getting a lot of shit online these days. And I just kind of like have to laugh, because the people that are usually giving the agency model shit are telling people like, hey, screw this model. You don't need this, you know, don't work with clients. Just go and start an online course. And that's fucking great. Like, I like that on principle, but A, you will always have to deal with clients, even when you're working with courses. And I know this from firsthand experience, and that's not any easier, I will tell you. And then the second part of that is that you can't sell a course if you don't have fucking credibility, right? And so the beauty of what you guys are all doing on this call right now, and what you guys should like be acutely aware of anytime someone slags this industry, is like, yo, motherfucker, I'm actually upskilling my business skills using other people's money. If that's not the smartest thing ever, I don't know what fucking is. I'm actually fine-tuning my ability to set up e-commerce stores, to set up lead generation stores, businesses, to set up online courses, whatever it is. I'm actually building that fucking skill and fine-tuning it to a level where I know any business I launch after this is gonna fucking explode, but I'm doing it using other people's money. Like, it's amazing. It's the best freaking model out there, right? This is why all my businesses succeed now, is because I have this Facebook marketing skill. Plain and simple. Most business owners do not fucking know what it takes to market their business, and they will go under. I started as a freelancer. I used other people's money to upskill myself and become really fucking good at what I did. And then I said, great, I built out a team. I stepped away from my business and I said, great, let's launch another business and another one and another one. And I'm pretty confident that most businesses I launch will do really, really well, simply because I possess this skill. It's like a key to the kingdom, right? So regardless of how you position or you structure, whether you're, I'm like totally going off cue here from the training, but whatever. Regardless of how you structure your agency, or if you want to be a freelancer, or have, that doesn't matter. What matters is that it's in alignment with the lifestyle that you want. And what matters is that ultimately it's leading to a situation that you are going to love, right? That's all that matters. And it's building, you're basically building this insane skill set right now, working with other clients. Okay, so having, all right, yeah, cursing. I should have done a disclaimer at the beginning of this training. Yeah, John, I think it's live streaming, so it'll be up on my page, guys, if you do need to leave or pop in. Okay, so firstly, let's talk about lead generation types of clients, okay? I do think that there's a lot of programs out there that teach people how to initially get into the Facebook advertising space. And normally it's done teaching people how to go after realtors, gyms, dentists. Those are pretty much the three main. Would you guys agree with that? There's a lot of training out there that teaches, a lot of it is like biz op, right? It's people that are fed up with their corporate jobs, or maybe they were doing another kind of agency, or maybe they were freelancing in another space and they're seeing Facebook as a good opportunity. They see this like pot of gold on the other side of the bridge of the rainbow. I don't know how that analogy goes. And a lot of the times it's using dentists, realtors, and gyms. So the first thing that I want to be really, really clear about with you guys, and I'm going to be super frank and honest here, is, and I'm only saying this, and again, I want to say this to everyone, like, half of the shit I say, I pretty much fucking make it up on the spot. Just like life. I pretty much like am winging fucking life. I have no idea what I'm doing with my kids. Like the other day, I gave my kids tea for bed, and apparently you're not supposed to give kids tea or toddlers tea. I had no idea. Like, where the fuck would you read not to do that, right? I don't know. So, and that's not a good idea, by the way. Don't do that. It's got like caffeine. That was really bad idea. So that should have been common sense. But anyways, what I'm saying to you now is based off experience, and it's based off me seeing hundreds and hundreds of ad accounts and working with over 400 agency owners and over 2,000 Facebook freelancers, and personally helping them with their bottlenecks and their issues in their businesses, okay? Here's what I would say. There is, not all lead gen clients are equal. If you are someone that is not wanting to, okay, let me strip that back. How much money do you need to earn in a Western country to, after taxes, to have like a lifestyle that is good and that wouldn't make you want to go back to corporate? 120, oh, a year. It was like a month? Whoa. Like a month. Let's do a month. 30K a month or a year? 10K. Yeah. 10K. Yeah. So after taxes, that's like 6K, 7K, depending on where you live, if you live in California or not. 10K after taxes, because you got your mortgage, you got, you know, everything else that you need to pay for, right? Yeah, and that's a good salary, right? 10K after taxes is a good salary. So before taxes, that's like what, 15K, right? 15K net. Everyone agrees with that? It'll vary a bit depending on where you live in the world. So 15K net salary is what you need. Okay, great. Now you're charging lead gen clients. What would you say like a typical lead gen client will, pricing wise, will come in at? And this is why this niche is so fucking tricky. 1,500, right? 2K, 1,500 to 2K, possibly 3K, right? Yeah. So let's do like 2K, okay? So let's say 2K is an average lead gen client. So how many clients do you need to basically walk away with a very good salary? Almost 8, right? I love the math on this call right now, by the way. I cheated. I actually pulled up my calculator. Yeah, 20. All right, guys, maybe we should do like a separate training and bring in an expert like hooked on phonics, how to calculate math, how to use our calculators. So you need about 8 clients, okay? Does anyone have 8 clients on this call right now? Wait, hold on. Is that, oh, fuck, that's moving too fast. Patrick, Kurt, sorry, let me clarify. Does anyone have 8 clients as a freelancer, like as a one-man band? Trisha, how's the weekend going? Fabio. Let me tell you, 8 clients is fucking a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And you will see when I show you the standard operating procedure, why it's Catherine, you are chatting it. I can see your chat. It's a lot of work. I was at about 7 and I was tapping out. Granted, I had a couple e-commerce in there, and e-commerce is a little bit more intense than lead gen typically, time-wise. But 8 is insane. It's a lot of work, okay? Because if you think about it, your average client in lead gen is gonna take you about 15 to 20 hours a month. So So if we're doing 15 hours, that's 120 hours a month that you're working, okay? Just on the campaign side. And then you're trying to manage your business and everything else on top. You're tapped out, like you're fucking tapped out. And that's if you're only doing 15 hours per month per client. And that's like basic. That's like the most basic service you could give that kind of client, right? And so if you're pricing lead generation clients at $15 to $2,000 a month, the only way you can really make that work, like really make that work, is if you structure your business operation the way that Yellow Pages would, or the way that Reach Local would. Do you guys know Yellow Pages or Reach Local? Yeah. So it's basically like a churn factory. They sign people on for a year. They actually charge a lot less. They'll charge like $200 a month. But I've met several clients that have worked with them. It is a total shitbox. Simply because at that price point, Reach Local or Yellow Pages cannot actually create customized solutions for those clients. It's really like one funnel that they build out, and they plug all their clients into that, or they duplicate it. It's very systematized, and it's like, this is what you get. You get one campaign and you'll get one report a month, right? And so most people, unfortunately, they lock you in. So that's how they make their money, but it's volume. And realistically, that kind of business model is not going to work unless you have a team, because even with the most systemized processes in place, and they have to be so steadfast, those processes, you're going to need a team because it's volume. You need a lot of clients to make it work, to make the sales, the revenues stack up, right? And if you're a one-man band, even with the most systematized process, it's going to be very difficult for you to do all the sales calls, all the client account management, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you will need a large team. So it is something that I personally feel, I'm not saying that business model doesn't work, but I personally feel that if you don't have investment money to get started with, like if you don't have a bank account to tap into, or a bank that's willing to loan you money to start your business, where you can actually set up that team and then get that model going, it's very difficult to get into that kind of model properly, to make that model work, okay? So the alternative of that is going, right, so we need to charge more. We need to actually charge what we should be charging in order to justify the work that we're doing. Because if you're doing $2,000 a month, if you're charging $2,000 a month and you are and you are working about 20 hours for the client, you're charging $100 an hour, which you may think is good, but it's actually going to keep you stuck in a freelancer. An agency needs to charge almost twice or three times that amount in order to make an agency work. So then it's really a situation of, okay, we need to actually charge more. We need to be more around the sort of 3 to 5K mark and above, ideally, right? So this means that not all lead gen clients are not created equals. Who has tried to onboard realtors at a 5K price point? Exactly, Charles. This is exactly where I'm going at with this. You can, and I've seen it happen. I have seen it happen. I've seen people successfully charge realtors that, but it's fucking hard. And I will tell you that only because I've seen a lot of people trying to go after that niche with a lot of support, with really good sales support, with really good salespeople. It is fucking hard to get a realtor in at even 3K. It just is, because their margins are not there. They have such long lead times that even though the lifetime value of a customer may be good, they're not willing to wait 10 years to see a return on their investment, right? They need something, they need to make money this year. They need to make money to feed their family this year, right? So it is really, really hard to onboard a client at that price point. Who has tried to onboard a chiropractor at that price? Yeah, same thing, right? So Peter actually mentioned something really interesting here. So if you are going after the lead gen, I'm not going to call them lower quality, but the price sensitive lead gen clients. This includes realtors, gyms, chiropractors. It includes dentists. Now, if you're going after the franchise, you can absolutely charge 20K, 25K. But if you're going after the sole operator, then it's going to be very, very difficult. So the two options that you really have if you decide to work with this type of price sensitive lead gen client is you either structure yourself as a yellow pages structure, which we've already established is very tricky to do. Or the alternative, what Peter's mentioned, is what you do, what we call a leased funnel, where you essentially build one funnel. You build one funnel in Auckland City for dentists, and then you go after dentists and say, hey, I've got leads. Do you want to buy the leads off me? And you sell them the leads. Now, the only issue with that is with the new Facebook terms, it's like really gray water. That whole situation right now is so we used to encourage people to do that, but since Facebook updated their terms as a result of the Gdpr regulations and the whole Cambridge Analytica scandal, it is a little bit of murky water to run what we call leased funnels, okay? So I'm not really in a position right now to say do that, because until someone like from Facebook actually clarifies that, it's so murky. Like the whole GDPR thing, Facebook is saying one thing, but what GDPR is actually saying is totally different. Lawyers are all over the place. No one can fucking agree. So until the waters settle and we actually are clear on that, I'm not going to recommend doing that, because I just don't know. I don't even know if that's allowed according to Facebook anymore. Okay. So who are some other types of lead gen clients that are price sensitive? What are some other types of price sensitive lead gen clients? No, coaches are different funnels. Acupuncture, restaurants, yeah, restaurants like hair salons would be price sensitive, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's brainstorm together. So now we kind of know, all right, everyone that's on this call right now, and you're seeing, by the way, if you're on Facebook right now, I cannot see your comments. You need to join me on the webinar where I can see your chat and questions. Everyone that's seeing all these comments, like, take note. These are the leads. Solar companies can be good. Solar companies can be good. I think they're kind of like in the middle there. But I think you guys need to take notes here. These are the lead gen, types of lead gen clients that if you decide to go after them, be aware that it will be fucking hard to price yourself at 3 to 5K plus, which is where you need to be pricing yourself to justify the amount of work that you're going to do, which I'm going to show you why in a minute when we go into the SOP, and you will understand why. So if you are going after that, oh, you guys can only see your own comments. How do I make it so you can see everyone's? I'm afraid I'm going to like break this if I do that. Oh, does this work? Can you see now? Yes. Woo! All right, let's do it again. Let's do it again so you can see everyone's. Okay. I get it. You don't have to say yes. Woo, that's moving fast. So let's do it again. What are some price sensitive clients? If you typed in, do it again just so everyone can. I'll save this chat as well. I will attempt to do that, and I'll try to get Brooke to export that list. Mechanics, hair salons, restaurants, dry cleaners, yoga schools, chiropractors, Now, if you're going after franchise owners, the franchise, totally different story. So if you're going after a mechanic, a car mechanic franchise, you're going to absolutely charge those prices. If you're going after the sole operator, you'll struggle a bit. I'm not saying you can't do it. You can absolutely still do it. I've seen it done. But you are definitely not making things easy for yourself. Let's just put it that way. Where you could make it easier for yourself if you wanted to, right? Okay, so on the flip side of that, what are some less price sensitive lead generation clients? What are some lead generation types of lead generation clients that are not as price sensitive? Booby surgeons, solar panels. Wow, this is moving so fast. Insurance, med spas, lawyers, home builders. Yeah, construction, lawyers, mortgage, insurance. Sorry, I haven't done my nails in a while. Insurance. What else? Anyone doing high ticket events? High ticket events, it's lead gen. High ticket events lead to a sales calls, right? They pay a lot of fucking money. Festivals, yeah. Credit repair. That's a hard one. Just be careful with that because obviously Facebook's a bit. So right off the bat, we have at least 6 here. And so if you are going to work in the lead gen space, I think one of the most important things right off the bat is to start to realize, okay, not all lead gen clients are created equal. There's specific types of clients within this niche that I'm going to really struggle to onboard at the price that I want to onboard at, simply because I want to be able to do a really good job for these clients. I want to be able to actually give them an account manager, to actually have their emails answered whenever they ask for questions. I want to be able to make sure that they get such great results, that they have someone that's in comms with them all the time. And the only way that I can do that is to have a team or have support, or I'm only working with 3 or 4 clients a month. And then I can give that level of service to the client the way that they deserve it. And if I only work with 3 or 4 clients a month, but yet I need to make at least $10,000 a month just to have my mortgage paid off and earn a decent salary, then I know that I need to charge at least $4,000 to $5,000 a month for my services, or $3,000 to $5,000 for my services, which means I probably shouldn't go after dentists, chiropractors, realtors, those types of clients that are going to make things a lot harder for me. I'm going to have to get on a lot more sales calls to onboard the right client at the right price if I target price sensitive lead gen clients than if I simply decide to skew my my radar towards lead gen clients that are willing to pay, $5K. A lawyer makes that from, the LTV of one client could be $50,000 to $100,000 for a lawyer, depending what kind of space that they're in. For them to pay $5,000 to land one client is a no fucking brainer. It's a no-brainer, right? They will pay that. And they don't have as long, usually, life cycles as a realtor, where most people don't sell their houses for another 3-4 years, right? So, and this doesn't include ad spend, by the way, guys. When we're saying 3 to 5K, that's your fee. That does not include ad spend, all right? Now, here's the key. You don't, with lawyers, this is another problem. A lot of people, the reason they struggle to price themselves with this industry is they go, yeah, but it's going to cost $50 per lead, and he's only going to take 20 leads this month, so he's only really, I suck at math, but whatever, he's only spending $1,000 in ad spend. I can't charge him $5,000 if he's only spending $1,000 in ad spend. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much, how little he's spending. It does matter how much he spends. If he starts to spend $50K or $100K a month in ad spend, absolutely you should be charging way more. So you can put yourself on a tiered contract like that. But it doesn't matter how little they spend on ad spend. What matters to them is how many clients they get, right? They would rather only spend $1,000 in ad spend and land 4 clients than spend $10,000 in ad spend and land 4 clients. Would you not agree with that? So it's actually even better if they spend less money. That's great. And you should charge more. If you're saving them money on ad spend, that is why they're hiring you, right? You're saving them $4,000 in ad spend that they didn't have to spend to get the same amount of results. So that's really important. That doesn't matter. So those are just some of the types of clients within this space that will be a lot less price sensitive. Insurance guys, lawyers, mortgage brokers, constructions, high ticket event, a lot of plastic surgeons and med spas, they will be willing to spend that, $3,000 to $5,000 amount per month to get the service that they deserve and actually get a marketing channel that works for them to make it happen. Here's the thing. When you get on calls with these guys, and yes, a lot of them are probably price shopping, window shopping other agencies or other freelancers. And who's ever been on a call and they say to you, I've spoken to another agency and they're only charging, $700 a month. Why should I work with you at $4,000? It's almost 5 times the price. Why should I work with you? Has that ever happened to you guys? Charles? Yeah. Yeah. So, I would say to this, and I've experienced this firsthand with some of my own marketing, where I was trying to pinch my pennies, and I hired contractors, feeling all cheeky and stuff, going like, woohoo, instead of spending $5,000, I'm now spending, $1,000 a month. Woohoo, I've got all this extra money. And I will tell you, the marketing results were never there on the back of that. It never fucking happened. And so what actually happened was I ended up wasting 3 months of my time, 3 months of potential revenue that I've lost out on, the fee that I already paid, and then I'm way behind on where I actually wanted to be with, a specific objective or a goal. It's kind of like if you were actually serious about, let's say you launched a product. Okay, this is what's happening now in one of our businesses. Let's say you're launching a product and you are needing to go out to the press and influencers, okay? You need to go out with a massive bang. The aim is that you position yourself and take the world by storm, basically. And you're approaching a couple PR companies, and you've gotten some quotes, and one of them is going to do it for $700, and most of the other quotes that you're getting is like $5,000-$10,000. Hello, who do you realistically believe that you are going to take the world by storm on fucking $700? That you're actually going to explode your business? People need to, you guys need to also start taking this seriously. You guys are running their marketing. As I mentioned right at the beginning of this, marketing is everything in a business. If you don't know how to market yourself, you're pretty much gone, burgers. You're gone. You're gone. You're going out of business, mate. So don't take that lightly. You are basically the blood of that business. And if they're actually serious about creating more veins and more blood and growing and building what they're doing, and they think they're going to do that off $700, you really need to have a frank conversation with people and almost get pissed off at them when they're on the phone with you and they say that. If they're on the phone and they're saying to you, I've been quoted $700 by competitors, I would literally, I would start fuming at them. I would be like, listen, you just told me you want to do this. You want to land this many clients. You want to build your business. You want to make $100,000 a month. And you think $700 a month is going to get you that? I can't work with clients that are not serious about the marketing in their business and that are not serious about growing their business. I'm after long-term relationships with my clients, and I'm not after a client that's looking to for me to do all the work and grow their business, and I don't get to benefit in that as well. That is not a relationship I'm willing to get into. I wish you all the freaking best in your business. And if you want to reach out to me in like 6 months' time when things don't work out with this other agency, feel free to do so. We can have a chat then and see if we have space on our books at that time. Like, I would get pissed off at them. It's just crazy that people would say stuff like that, you know? Like, I would never hire a PR company on $700 a month and expect to get really great results off that. I understand that if I want people to do a proper job, it's an expertise, it's a skill, it's a service that requires time and connection and proper networks, right? So yeah, if I'm serious about actually making waves with influencers and all that, then, you know, you got to pay for that. That's business. And then when they ask you what guarantees, hello, this is business. Business is a fucking risk. The whole thing is risky. What guarantee did you have when you launched your med spa? None. You took that risk. You took that risk. There's no guarantees in business. None whatsoever, right? The entire world of business is a risk, which is why most people will never do it, and which is why most people will consistently stay stuck in a freelancer or one-man band situation because they are too scared to dip their toe and take the risk that all the other competitors have done in order to grow their businesses. They want someone to promise them, guarantees and results. And that's just not going to happen, right? It can't happen. You don't own Facebook. You cannot promise results off Facebook, off a platform you don't own. What if they shut it down tomorrow? Is that your fault? No, it's not your fault, right? So, anyways, I digress, but I had to get that out of my system. Okay, so let's go into the standard operating procedure here. So now we understand that not all lead gen clients are created equal. We understand that there's different types of clients we should probably go after. This is a generalization. I for sure know some freelancers working with realtors, dentists, doing really, really well, chiropractors, and they figured out how to onboard them at a higher price. Or they've structured their business in a way that they're either using leased funnels or they are, it's like a plug and play system inside their business, and it works for them. That's not the business model that I'm familiar with. So what I'm teaching you guys is a business model that has worked for me and what I've seen work for other people. And I would simply say that lead gen is a great niche to go after because the funnels are far easier than e-commerce and coaches. But just understand that not all lead gen clients are created equal and that you can actually target lead gen clients that are willing to pay your prices. It'll just make your life a lot easier. Tire kickers agency was charging $200 a month for Faith's Turnout Factory and $200 a month. Wow. Yeah. What are we providing for these lead gen clients for 3 to 5K a month? We are providing a marketing funnel. We're providing a new marketing channel, right? We're providing leads or whatever it is that they're asking. So, and it may even be more depending on what they're asking you for. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to take you into the SOP. Wait, how do I do that? Can I share my screen here? Oh yeah. Hide my porn, yes. Can you guys see this? Okay, so I'm gonna take you guys through this section and then we'll go through here. You guys will have access to this link. Bear in mind that this is a sample SOP. This is actually part of the FATC lead gen program. So if you are wanting the full framework for that, you do need a membership for that. But I just want to take you guys through this so you actually understand how intense it is to work with any type of client in this business. Like we have an SOP for e-commerce, and one of our, like there was a new member that signed up like 3 weeks ago. and he accessed the SOP and he was like, what the fuck? Like, this is so much work. And we were like, thank you. Hello, this is why we charge 10K. Like, it's really nice that finally someone's seeing it's not a fucking 2-hour job to get clients the results that they're after. So let's go in here first, and I'll explain some of this. I really wish I could see your comments while I'm going. Okay, oh, there we go. Okay, I can see your chat as well, so. Okay, so this is kind of the checklist that our biz dev we in 8 Loop Social, we don't really work with lead gen clients. We mostly do coaches and online courses and e-commerce. However, we did actually work with a lot of lead gen. My very first client was a car mechanic franchise, Pit Stop. They're still one of our clients to this day. And so I did do a lot of lead gen work. So this is basically a screening checklist that our salespeople, or yourself if you're getting on sales calls, should ideally identify on the first call with the lead, with the potential lead, to see if this is going to be a good situation. Now, the process that we teach inside of the academy when we work with agency owners is a 2-call process. The reason for that, especially with lead gen, is you actually want to mystery shop them after this call. So you could do it before as well, but typically if the way you would set up your funnel is you would only allow people to book in no further than 3-4 days out, which means it doesn't give you much time to kind of do a proper mystery shop. So typically that happens after the first call with the lead. Is there will be a mystery shop cycle where you would go and actually assess, like, are they actually following up the leads? Are they actually calling me? Are they actually getting in touch with me? What is the communication like? Is it pretty blunt? Is it an intern doing it? Like, how fast is it happening? Because the reality is, like, this is the biggest problem with lead gen, second to pricing them, right? Would you agree that the biggest problem and the most frustrating thing with working with this niche is that you don't control the sale? So you could actually send them thousands of leads, the best fucking leads on this planet, but if they're not calling them, or if they're taking 10 days to follow up on leads and it's all going cold, it's not going to work. They're not going to convert anyone. And then what happens? What happens, right? Then what happens is they turn around 2 months later and go, this isn't working. That your targeting is wrong. It's your targeting. Change your targeting. It's all wrong, right? The leads are shit. None of them are converting. Change your targeting. That's what they say. They blame it on you. You get all the blame. So it's super important, if you work in the space, right from the get-go, all your processes are covering your fucking ass. And you are not allowing any fucking client into your agency, into your business, that will compromise the confidence and the enthusiasm of yourself and your team for the sake of $1,000 or $2,000, even $5,000. It's not worth it. You will struggle to land clients if you lose confidence in yourself. And that is one of the biggest evil cycles of this niche, is that clients turn around and go, the leads are shit, when in reality, it's their sales process is shit. You start to doubt everything you're doing. You start to think the agency model sucks. You start to feel like a big imposter and a big fraud. Your team picks up on it. You can't close any more clients because you actually have ethics, and you actually are not a used car salesman that can sell something to people that you don't believe in. And then your whole business starts to spiral out of control, right? So it's super important that the processes you have in your agency protect you from that you are covering your ass to never allow these kinds of clients to come in, or that you identify them and you actually call them out on it right from the get-go, and you can set the right expectations. So this is part of that process. And so following this checklist, that's why we have a 2-call process. Following that, you would have a mystery shop where you would actually mystery shop this client, okay? So some of the questions here: have they run ads before? How is their experience? If they tell you here, guys, take notes on this. If they tell you, I have worked with 3 other marketers, they sucked, none of them could get me results. Is that, what does that make you think right away? Oh, Julia, don't worry. You will get all of this. All the FATC guys you're getting the full one. So don't worry about this one. Red flag, right? Hello. I could understand like one bad Facebook marketer, potentially two I could get, like, okay. But if they're starting to badmouth 3 agencies or Facebook marketer, that should be the biggest fucking red flag, right? Sorry, I swear a lot. Like, danger, danger, hello. Run. Because if 3 of them were not able to pull it off and they're bad-mouthing them, you gotta be super careful there. And I would seriously consider even engaging any more in that conversation. I would ask them very politely why, and then I would pretty much put a stop to the conversation then and say, I need to look at the ad accounts because I need to see if what you're saying is true, okay? And then I would audit the ad accounts, and if I found that there was gross misconduct in the ad accounts, then I would potentially continue that conversation with the lead, okay? But that is a huge red flag, all right? What are their targets and objectives? What is the current lead to client conversion rate? Now, this is super important, that one, and the current source of leads, okay? What is your current lead to client conversion rate, and what is your current source of leads? If someone's on the phone with you and is telling you, I close about 80% of my leads, what is that a big indication of right away? What does that mean? And something, yeah, Jai, spot on. They lie. No, actually, it can be true. Referrals, it means they're relying on referrals. That should be, if someone says they're converting over 30%, I would even say 20%. If they're saying they're converting over 20% of their leads, right away, I would start to go, okay, they're dealing with warm traffic here. Their leads are referral based or they're warm people. Where are they coming from? Let's establish that. Referral-based traffic converts really high, especially for like financial advisors. Oh, that's another good one. That's another good niche. Financial advisors spend a lot of money to get leads. They're probably one of the top paying ones, by the way. So if a financial advisor says to you, yeah, I close about 90% of my leads, which actually happens. But the reality is their leads are like, me going, hey, to a friend, me going, hey, you know, I really need to get some financial advice. I don't know where to invest my money. And my friend says to me, like, listen, I really love this guy. He's helped me invest all my money. You should go to him. My close rate with that guy is pretty much like 100%, right? I mean, unless he's a douchebag, when I meet him, I'm going to convert if I'm actually serious. So referral-based traffic converts extremely high. AdWords traffic converts a lot higher than Facebook traffic. AdWords is higher intent, right? People are searching for it. They're deeper in the marketing funnel. So you have to make sure you identify that right from the get-go, because here's what's going to happen if you don't do that. If you do not tell your client right from the get-go on the first call, and then as well when you onboard them. So when you have the onboarding call when you're going through the scope with them and your account manager, if you do not reset the expectation, hey, Michael, we're so excited. Now, just as a reminder, I know that you're converting about 90% of your leads here, but those are coming from referrals. So just as a reminder, this is Facebook traffic. It's probably going to convert at around 5 to 10%. Okay? So don't be scared. Don't worry if that's the case. That's totally normal for Facebook. Let's see how this first 2 months go. And if you decide you need to bring on a salesperson after that, we can help, work through that as well. So that's really important that you do that, because if you don't do that, there's a cannon that goes off every day. If you don't do that, what will happen is the lead, what do you think happens? Like after 2 months of the lead getting on calls, same thing, right? Same thing. They go, the leads are shit. I'm not converting any of them. None of them are converting. Change your targeting. Change your targeting. The leads are shit. Campaigns suck. Facebook sucks. It's not working, right? And then they leave. Only because you didn't set the expectation. You didn't tell them that was totally normal. And if you try to tell them after they complain, it's going to look like a cop-out. right? It's going to feel and look like a cop-out to the client. It's not their fault. You didn't set the expectation. It's your fault as an agency that you didn't do that. So it's really important that you do that, because if they go, the leads are shit, I'm not converting any of them, even if they are converting 5 to 10%, if they're used to 90%, they're going to say they're shit, right? I'm not converting any of them. And you turn around and go, well, no, that's normal for Facebook. They're going to be like, oh, what the fuck? No, I don't want to do this. So you need to set that expectation right from the get-go. Okay. What is the desired cost per lead? What's the lifetime value of a customer? That's really important, because if they say to you, lifetime value is around $50,000 to $10,000, $50,000 to $100,000 for a customer. Oh, great. So what you can say is, oh, great. So if it costs you, $2,000 or $3,000 to acquire a customer, that works out just as well, right? Yes, that's good. That would work. Ideally, I want them as cheap as possible, but that would still work. Perfect. And then you don't get in a situation where a client is telling you, how come I'm not getting $5 leads? I keep reading case studies about $5 leads, $2 leads. Let me tell you something, my friends. Cheap leads does not necessarily equal customers. I know this because I have set up offline tracking events. I have tracked this shit on several fucking accounts, and I will tell you, it's often the most expensive leads that come through, the ones that cost you $50 or $100, that convert into customers. So do not ever, ever get trapped by a client or by the industry or by peers going like, look at how cheap my leads are. I'm getting $2 fucking leads. Oh yeah? Look at me. I'm actually getting fucking customers. Whoa. Which means I'm getting retention of my client. My client is staying with me because even though I'm paying $100 a lead, they're actually converting. Do not get fucking trapped into that cost per lead thing. So set that expectation as well, okay? Yeah, 1 cent leads. Yeah, a lot of clients have read like some YouTube videos or blog posts out there about like $2 leads, and they focus on that, right? They're like, how can I get it cheaper? Now, I'm going to show you a framework that will optimize the cost per lead down, but there's checkpoints in there to ensure that it's actually high quality leads. Okay. All right. So the marketer can afford to pay the most for customers wins. Yeah. So, okay. So cost per lead, how many clients are they after? Do they have the capacity to handle the number of leads requested? So if he says to you, okay, I want to get 4 new customers per month. Well, then if you know that he's going to convert about at a 5% rate, so you're being super conservative. I'm going to use my calculator here because I don't know how to do this by heart. 0.05. So you need to generate 80 leads in a month, right? Technically speaking. It's really important that you bring this up on the first call, or at least before you onboard this client, to let them know, can you handle 80 leads in a month? That's a lot of fucking leads. Can you handle that? Can you actually, do you have time in your business, or is there someone in your business that has time to get on a call with 80 people potentially? And so that's important, that again, you're setting those expectations, right? And this is really going to build a lot of trust, these questions with them, because they're going to start to realize like, oh shit, this is for real. This is, I'm not getting sold the promised land here. I actually have to do a lot of work here. So what time of day a week can they follow up on the leads? We want them to follow up as fast as possible, right? Within a 24-hour window, ideally. If they can do it within a 1-hour window, even better. Leads will close a lot higher if they're followed up immediately. But do they have capacity to that, right? And does this mean you shouldn't be running ads during the weekend, or you shouldn't be running ads during certain days? Will they be doing the calls themselves, or is someone else on their team doing it? And this next question, most people completely forget to bring up with clients, and then it gets brought up like super awkwardly, normally after a troll has left a hateful comment, and then the client gets pissed off about the situation because they assumed that you were going to be doing community management on their ads. Can they handle the community management of their ads? i.e., I'm going to give you a spreadsheet where you will see all the ads that are active. Do you have the time, or does someone on your team have the time to go through, ideally on a daily basis, and double check the comments on all of the ads, answer the questions, and or moderate, remove trolls? If not, would you like us to pitch, or not say pitch, but would you like us to do the community management? It's a small additional fee to do that. That's an upsell, guys. That is not included as part of your services. That's not part of running campaigns for clients, community management, okay? So you upsell them on that, or at the very least, you've made it very clear from the get-go, hey, if you get trolls on your ads, you are responsible for managing that situation, okay? And then if they don't manage it and they turn around and complain about the leads, you can say to them, hey, look, you guys are not pulling your weight. If you guys want to continue with us, you do need to pay us this fee to manage this, because this is just hurting your campaigns right now. So Danielle, if it's simply community management on ads, I would charge $1,500 a month, okay? If you're doing community management on their page and their messenger and stuff like that, that's a different price point altogether. And that will depend on how big their business is. And then expected response time to leads. Make sense, everyone? You'll have access to this, so don't worry, you don't have to write this down. I'm like getting tired of talking. Oof, need a water. I've got water here, but my kids drank this morning, so it's probably like spit back. Okay, cool. Everyone still like make sense? Is everyone still like cool? Yeah. Not too much? If it's too intense, let me know. I can pull it back a bit. Yeah. Okay. Floaties and backwash. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, let's have a look at I'm going to grab a water really quickly. Let's have a look at the SOP. So SOP is a standard operating procedure. And yes, there will be a replay. Well, there's not really a replay. It's streaming live on my Facebook page right now, guys. But you will not get the SOP unless you're on this webinar, because that's where I'm going to put the link. Okay, so, and just as a reminder, this is actually what we do inside of FATC. So this is like a sample from 8loop. Okay, so first thing first. So I'm not going to go through all of these steps, but I'm going to start taking you through the process of managing these kinds of accounts, okay? So what we use inside of 8loop is about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, we kind of stumbled across this concept of rapid fire testing. I made up the word. I didn't make up the concept. I think it's always been it's like testing, okay? But what was happening was we were rolling out these funnels for coaches and online courses. And it would take us a lot of time and resources to roll them out. And what would often happen is we'd go live with them, we'd start to run ads, we'd get data, feedback, the feedback loop, et cetera, et cetera. And then we would start to realize like, oh, fuck, the messaging, the USP needs to be changed. This needs to be changed. This needs to be changed. And then the funnel at the end of, when everything was said and done, oftentimes looked completely different to what was initially created. So I started to think like, okay, there has to be an easier way to test out the audiences or the messages or all of this stuff, the lead magnets, before we even build them out, because it takes a lot of time to build a lead magnet, right? And that's where we developed rapid fire testing. So it initially started with that niche, and then we rolled it out in e-commerce, and then we rolled it out with lead gen. The reality is it works the best with lead gen. It's super easy to implement with lead gen, and each one is set up differently. So for example, e-commerce, you would use a post-engagement objective campaign to run your rapid fire tests. With coaches, you would use lead ads. And then with lead gen, you're actually using messenger objectives. So the first thing to do when you onboard, Jordan, first thing you do when you onboard your lead gen client is you got to review the briefing document, okay? So you got to look at, you know, which countries are we targeting, which area codes are we targeting, what is the offer at stake? Do we have access to everything that we need to have access to? So you're making sure that you're good to go, that you have access to the ad account, to the page. Ideally, I mean, this is in the prepping the client account stage. You're going to need to set up offline event tracking. So when you're working with lead generation clients, it's really important that you set up offline event tracking, because what you want to do is you actually want to be able to attribute which campaigns actually led to customers. As I mentioned to you guys, the cheapest cost, because what you'll be tempted to do when you run your campaigns is optimize for the cheapest leads, right? You'll start to cut down your campaigns, your ad sets, and your ads based on which one's getting you a cheapest cost per lead. That is not always going to be the one that leads to customers. So you actually need to optimize your campaigns based on where the customers are coming from. And to do that, usually in lead gen, you need to set up offline event tracking, because the sale typically happens offline, right? It happens on inside of the office, inside of the hair salon. It happens, face-to-face at the lawyer's receptionist, or it happens on a phone call if it's a high-ticket event, for example. So setting up offline event tracking and making a habit of uploading this on a monthly basis at the very least will allow you to actually optimize your activities way better. And even if it's not the cheapest cost per leads, the stuff that's resulting in clients, what it means is that if you optimize those ad sets, you will retain your client, because your client will be converting customers. And as long as it's within an acceptable cost per customer acquisition, they will be fine. But if you optimize for cheap leads and they can't convert those to customers, you're losing that client within 2 months. You've got a 2-month churn rate there. They're going to be gone. They're not going to stay with you. In fact, they'll probably null and void the contract even before your contract is over. So be careful of that, okay? So I'm not going to go into how to set up offline event tracking today, because that's like a whole nother training. And in fact, I don't have a lot of time to go through this whole thing with you guys today. But there's a few key things that I want to go through, okay? So the first big things here is privacy policy and GDPR compliance, obviously starting from the 25th of May. This is a big one. I've got an example here, guys, up here of a funnel that uses Facebook's new terms. So this is kind of like what Facebook is asking of us right now. So it's saying you have to make it really clear that you're tracking people, that there's a pixel on the website, and then link that through to the privacy policy. The way that I did that inside of ClickFunnels, for those of you that are curious, this is ClickFunnels. Oops, that's not how I did that, but it's just a button, and then when they click the button, it just goes show hide, and then you hide the element. So you would hide this thing here if they click on it, okay? So you go like this, and then it just hides it. So that's all it is. But that is basically what Facebook is asking us. If you are targeting EU people, you do need something a bit more robust. In fact, if you are taking what the GDPR is saying, is technically saying, you're not even allowed to pixel them without their consent. So you essentially need some kind of plugin or a buffer page before they even get pixeled. So they need to give you explicit consent to put them in a custom audience, okay? So that's the GDPR translation of it if you're targeting EU. For the rest of the world, the new Facebook terms just need you to have like a very clear banner somewhere on the landing page that says that you are tracking them. So that's how we've set that one up. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. No, GDPR is only for the EU. However, if you're working with lead gen and you're not targeting, if you're targeting postcodes or like you're targeting localized business, like you don't really have to worry about GDPR unless your lead gen client is in the EU. But for those of you working with e-com or any client that potentially targets international audiences, I would just roll this out across their funnels just to be fucking safe, okay? I'm not in the EU. Okay, so we're checking the privacy policy, that they have a privacy policy on their landing page. We're checking the client website, okay? Now, here's one of the really big things with lead gen is a lot of people will, the user experience can be very interesting in the lead gen space. People will see the ad, and they will sometimes, especially during the rapid fire testing, when you're using a messenger objective, they will see the ad and they will click through to the Facebook page, they'll click through to the website, and then if they're still in it, they'll go through the website to book an appointment. So the UX can be very, very interesting when you're rapid fire testing for lead gen clients. What this means for you is that most clients do not have proper tracking on their websites. Would you agree with that? Especially, like most lead gen clients have horrible websites. It's not like e-commerce where their entire business is, even e-commerce has horrible websites a lot of the time, but at least e-com, that's like that's the main star of the show is the website, right? So they try to make it look good, but with lead gen, oh my God, sometimes you're dealing with horrible, horrible websites. And a lot of them, like for example, hair salons or those kinds of sites, they use plugins for booking appointments. So one of the things that you need to have inside of your processes is you need to establish if you're able to pixel, i.e. track leads that go through the website. So leads that book through their website or inquire through their website. And you need to figure out a situation where you can do that, because what will happen is a lot of the leads will actually go through the website, and you will not be seeing that in your ad account. So you will, if there's no pixel, it will not get tracked back to Facebook, right? And so you're going to be thinking your campaigns are not working, when in reality, a lot of the leads are actually going through the website and inquiring through there. And then your client is going like, oh no, Facebook's not working, but organic traffic is doing well, you know? So make that part of your process where you're actually auditing the account properly. And one of those steps is that you're checking to see, am I able to track? Am I able to put a pixel or some sort on the back of this booking system or whatever system that they're using on the back of their website, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna share this with you guys while I remember. And then I will, hopefully everyone can access this. And then I just wanna show you guys a couple of things here. Okay, so then you have, you prepare your first round of rapid fire testing. If you have worked with this type of client or this type of funnel repetitively, you can actually skip this step. And if they already know their personas, you can skip this step as well. We go through the ad approval stage. So this is an entire process within your business that should be in there to prevent situations where an ad goes live from the wrong Facebook page, or it goes live with grammar mistakes, et cetera, et cetera. And then we go live with it. Now, step 6, what you'll see here, is really important, okay? You have to have a lead quality check with your client. So even though we're rapid fire testing here, and the intention isn't necessarily that we're getting leads in this stage. In fact, you would tell your client, don't even expect them till the 3rd round. Even though that's the case, you will probably get leads. You will likely get leads. In fact, in the live client account that I've done for this training, they had 18 within the space of a week, and they previously had 0. But what I had to do is you have to check in with the client and go, what are you seeing on your end? What kind of quality are you seeing? Are we on track? Are we way off? Et cetera, et cetera. So it's really important that you touch base with your client here so that you know what to optimize for, because here you're going to be basically testing personas in this stage. And again, you have it here after the 2nd round. You're touching base with your client and actively seeing, because by now it's probably too early at this stage for your offline event tracking, because this can happen in like a week and a half, okay? So by then, they may not even have converted them into customers yet. They probably don't have a customer list to import yet. So you're checking in, you're manually checking in with your client and seeing, hey, what is the lead quality? What are you seeing on your end? Is there a specific SKU of people that we need to like kind of try to preen out of this funnel, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll help you to really understand instead of just optimizing for the cheapest leads that are coming through, right? So you're doing that again down here, and then we're going into our third round, and then we set up our offline event tracking. We optimize the whole thing, and then we build out retargeting stacks. So we build out the long tail funnel to then ensure we don't leave any money on the table. Anyone that's encountered our funnel or touched our funnel as a potential lead is going to be retargeted. Can you guys not see the link? Oh, I posted it. It's above. No? Can you not see my comment? I just did it again. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So this is basically an 8-loop SOP for lead gen and a screening process, like the questions. I'm not going to go too much into, like, I don't have time to go into all of the steps in here as well as the sales process. But I really hope that you guys got a lot of clarity in terms of, like, did you guys get clarity? Like, maybe hopefully a few of you, the light bulbs went out where you were like went on, where you're like, oh shit, maybe I need to like reevaluate the type of client I'm going after or how I pitch. Yeah, I hope so. Good. Yeah, because it's like, guys, the thing is, like, if you're charging, I get it. If you're brand new to the industry and you're trying to get like your first client or something, yeah, definitely. I would say work for free on your first account. Make sure you screen the account properly though. There's no excuses not to mystery shop them and screen them. Because the problem you get into is if you don't audit that client properly and onboard them properly, you're never going to get a case study. So you would have done all that work for free. But there's a really, like, a lot of people get this imposter syndrome and they're going, I can't charge those fees because, you know, I'm brand new or I don't have 5 million case studies. But the reality is charging the $1,000 fees is what's keeping you. It's what's preventing you from building up those case studies. It's what's preventing you from actually being successful or positioning yourself as an expert in the space. So hopefully a lot of you guys like realize today that this is a really lucrative niche. And if you're just getting started out, 100% lead gen is way better than e-commerce or working with online courses and coaches. Those are intense funnels to work with. The client screening process is a lot more intense. The considerations and how you, and the price point is way bigger. Like you're talking 10K price points there and up, right? So if you're not good at sales or you're not comfortable at that, for sure lead gen is a much better niche to start off with. But please understand that not all lead gen clients are created equally, and some of them are going to be very hard for you to onboard at the right price. And then also understand that when you onboard them, there are some really important things that you need to be very clear from right from the get-go and set expectations for, so that you don't get, it doesn't backfire in your face in the end of all of this, okay? All right, so as I promised to all of you guys that attended today's training, we just released FATC Lead Gen, which is the full SOP, the full framework. It also includes a full support team. So I've put together some of the best Facebook marketers. Some of you guys already know them, Rutger, Tamra. They're just some of the best Facebook marketers out there when it comes to lead generation clients. And I'm also giving you guys an opportunity. This is what we did in eCom, to work on live client campaigns. So it's part of a new pilot program where we connect beginners with actual live businesses, and you can work on their accounts. I pay for ad spend. I match their ad spend, I should say. So I ask them to contribute. I match their ad spend, and you guys have an opportunity to in kind of an incubator setting with our support to gain the experience that you need to build those case studies, etc. For those of you that are beginners. For those of you that are advanced lead gen Facebook marketers, it's your opportunity to tap into a full standard operating procedure. What you would essentially do with that is you would duplicate this in your own Trello board, and then you could plug in any contractor, you can plug in any team member. It is so laid out in a way that if your staff does not follow this properly, they're honestly like there's something wrong in their head. Like you could literally almost put a PA. Nothing wrong with PAs, but you could literally plug a PA into this and they could develop a very fucking solid lead gen campaign, because it is step by step. Like, here's how to build a funnel. Here's how to install the pixel. Here's how to do that. Here's how to send the ads to the client for approval. Here's how to do that. So regardless of where you are on the spectrum, or if you're even just thinking of shifting from e-com and working with lead gen, then you will get access to a full ad swipe, all the funnels for the different industries. We have an entire library with realtors, finance, I'm trying to like spit out a whole bunch of different niches in there. Insurance, high ticket events, like tens and tens of them. Tens and tens, that's a new word. So regardless of where you're at in the spectrum, we put this program together. So it's like a community where you can actually speak to and interact with people that are on the same freaking level, speaking your language specifically, with incredible support, so that whenever a campaign is blowing up in your face, which it always will happen, even with us, we always have accounts that blow up in our face and we just need external support. You have that, like you have a team, you have the processes, you have the framework, and you also have the opportunity to actually build your expertise, get the case studies that you need and the experience. So we've just launched this officially today. It's been a lot of work to pull it together. I'm really fucking proud of it. I'm super excited. If you already are in FATC, don't worry, you guys have access to it. For those of you watching today's training, if you did get value, I highly recommend you pop in. It is a monthly membership, but there's no long-term contracts, although I'm pretty sure you'll want to stay. And normally it's going to sell for $4.97 and per month, and you get it for $2.97 per month if you buy within the next 48 hours. So that's our launch price. That's what we did with FATC e-commerce. So if you miss out in the 48 hours, just be aware that it will be a totally different price point. The link is the link is leadgenspecial.cathowl.com. Can someone try that and let me know? Lead gen special, let me see. leadgenspecial.cathowl.com. leadgenspecial.cathowl. Yeah, I think that's the link. Yeah, it's leadgenspecial.cathowl.com. Even the URL has that it's a special. You guys have 48 hours to get in. Hopefully you have gotten a lot of value out of today's training, regardless if you come in or not, regardless if you decide to work with me. I really hope that you start to like systematize what you're doing a little bit, and also like stand by your value, stand by what you're doing, and stay the fucking course. Like there's so many voices being thrown at us online all the time about like, oh, Facebook is dying, or Facebook's doing this, or the agency model sucks, or why would you work with clients? It's like, actually, it's the smartest fucking thing you could actually be doing. Name me one other thing that is going to set you up so much for life and success, where you're actually using someone else's money to learn this kind of skill. Like, it's just stay the course, guys. That's all I have to say. The only reason I am where I'm at right now in my life, with my salary, with my lifestyle, is because I was a Facebook freelancer. I promise you that. If I did not know how to do Facebook ads or funnels, there's no fucking way any of my other businesses would be the way that they are right now. So stay the course. That's all I ask. And I hope that regardless if we work together, that, yeah, keep that in mind. Super important, okay? All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to love you and leave you because I do have a client meeting coming up right now. If you do want to join inside of the new FATC lead gen, it's leadgenspecial.cathowl.com. You guys have 48 hours to access it at that special price. I really hope to see you guys in there. See you guys. Take care. Bye. Bye, everyone.